To start off with the positives, I was really pleased with our overall play from our defense. I thought, again, we started to be more disruptive with the things that we were doing and creating more negative yardage plays, creating some turnovers and opportunities for turnovers that we didn't quite get. All throughout the game. Offenses are going to have some success, and they obviously put together a couple drives, a drive where they got one of their early drives, they got a field goal, and another drive there in the second quarter where they got a touchdown. But you take those out, and, besides those two drives, really the rest of the scores that came were because us, what we were doing on offense, maybe because of where the score was, or just, some turnovers that were not good football. And so as I go back and look at the play of some of our players, Kobe Hilton, Tyrese Knight, Keenan Stewart played really, really well. I think we're getting good play out of our secondary. I'm really, been pleased with the play that we're getting from each and every person in our secondary. Those three guys I mentioned have been really, really disruptive. Cal Wallerstadt's playing. Cal had all kind of production and totals too at linebacker. So again, he did some really good things. I thought Tavita Tafuna started to play to the level that he had played at before he had got hurt last year in the Rice game. Coming off the season-ending injury, he hasn't been back to full form, which can be expected. But he really started to play to a higher level too. So those are the positive things. And just again, it was mentioned, I think, by some of you, how hard the defense played and they fought and the adversity that they were overcoming. So really proud of what they were able to do. Offensively, there wasn't a whole lot not a whole lot of positives to what we did offensively. I do think when we did run the football, we ran it well. And so in retrospect, in hindsight, obviously should have run the ball more in that ball game. I think we had a game plan going in that obviously wasn't the right game plan or one that was effective at all, but we wanted to be aggressive and we wanted to attack and we wanted to throw the ball quite a bit. And that ended up backfiring for us, early after they got the one drive that they got the field goal, and then we turn right around and get the interception for a touchdown on that play. There was a PI on the play, and our guy got grabbed, his arm got pulled and grabbed, and it was a pick six. But that's part of the game. Sometimes things get missed. That was unfortunate because it was a significant play in the game. But it was really, I think we took an undue chance there. We didn't really have to force the ball into that type of a situation. And again, as I go back and look in just retrospect, we probably should have played that game a whole different way offensively and tried to get a type of score that we had last year against them. A low-scoring ball game that the team that executes the best wins. But what we did is we got too aggressive and we gave them opportunities, and we had way too many turnovers, and they just kept growing as the game went along. But if you take out the pick six and you take out the touchdown that we got, where Tyron fumbled right at the end zone, those are two plays that probably just those two plays, those changed the whole impact of the whole landscape of the ball game. So that's probably how the game should have been played. So obviously I didn't do a great job of managing that game and playing the type of style that gave us the best chance to win. So live and learn from that, but not good management of a ball game there in retrospect. So obviously, I feel like we could have played a whole lot better offensively and done our execution could have been a lot better. I don't think anybody particularly on one position played poorly. I thought our offensive line played really, really well. I was really pleased with the way they played. They handled all the run game stuff very effectively. And again, in retrospect, we probably should have leaned more on them to run the football and control the game that way, and kept it more of a close-fought, less turnover type of ball game in that type of a setting. So moving forward from there, that leads us into this week's ball game, which again, like I said, it probably can't come fast enough. It's on a short week. The good news is it's on a short week for both teams, so I don't feel like we're at a big disadvantage that way, where we didn't lose a day or two of preparation for the game to an opponent because of the quick of the quick start on Friday night. It's going to be a lot, on a lot of TV sets. This game will be with that Friday night. That's why we agreed to do that. I think it'll be, a good opportunity to get national audience to see the game. And, our guys obviously have some things that they got to get fixed to play a whole lot better football. Just overall, there's been a lot of encouraging signs. I was encouraged by what Marcus Bellin did in the punt return. There's been really a lot of encouraging signs with our special teams play. I think we're at a better point right now, special teams-wise, than what we were at, at this time last year. And I think I feel good about our personnel and our defense and where our defense is trending. So I feel like those are the two spots that we're at a good spot at right now. And so really the focus is on getting the offense in order. Now, like I said, I think our offensive line's playing extremely well. And I feel comfortable. I think Tyron and Ray have played well. Kelly's our third starter there at receiver, and he just needs to continue to work and get experience and play, and we feel like we got good depth there. Our tight ends have been playing good football. I thought Ronnie and Ray ran well, and so really it's not any secret. I mean, Remedy, we got good players that have proven that they can play. It's not like we're putting some young guys out there that haven't done it in the past, so that's what really makes it such an unusual circumstance for our football team right now. So we just need to get back and do what we do best, and execute our offense the way it needs to be executed, and do the things that this offense can really do well. And there's plenty of things that is, and that's what we're going to make our emphasis on as we prepare for Boise. They're really a physical defensive football team. They got very good talent on their front. I like their defensive front. They play multiple guys there, but I like the physicality that they play with. Same thing with their linebackers. They have more downhill physical type of linebackers that are good, versus the run game. And then in the secondary, they have a lot of returning starters from last year in the secondary, and so it's a very experienced defense. It's what they try to lean on is their defensive football team. Offensively, they're versatile, they're multiple in what they do. They can run the ball well. They got two backs that run, extremely hard. They got a big offensive line that plays physical, likes to run the ball and play physical. They like to play action pass off the run game. That's really what they try to do, is get a lot of play action pass on you. They have two really quality receivers, but plenty of depth also at the receiver position. And last year they got a special teams touchdown against us. So again, that'll be an emphasis for us to match them with our special teams play as we go forward. So that's an overall synopsis of last week's game, and then what we're thinking heading into Friday night's matchup against Boise, and then I'll open it up to questions from there.
Coach, obviously you guys
and being more patient, that was part of it. I don't think we were patient enough with our pass game, and we took a lot of shots, and like you said, we do take shots. Our shots are usually a little bit more calculated than what they were in that game, and it's not it's us. It's not Gavin taking the shots by any means, but I'm talking about us as an offensive football team. We probably took too many shots, and we didn't hit many. We usually hit some, and we absolutely hit none that game except for the one to T. We hit two, the touchdown that he had, and then the one that got to the 1 yard line, and then the other one where he fumbled. But we didn't hit a lot of the ones, so our percentage for our shots was really down, and we didn't take enough of our controlled passing game things that we do, and usually do those pretty well. We didn't do much of that at all in the game. So really our whole game plan of our pass concepts were not anywhere close to what they needed to be, and that was what led to us not having success on offense. We just didn't have a good calculated attack in the pass game.
I think it's 5 touchdowns in the first 4 games. How do you guys finish drives? You've proven that you can move the ball, but how do you finish drives and score points?
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time, Adrian, in the red zone. We're spending a lot of time. We're putting more emphasis in our work in the red zone. But it's just really not a whole lot of touchdowns, period, in the first 4 games, and really, not being very explosive offensively, right? And so that's where we just have to take a look and see, okay, what are we trying to do it with guys that aren't capable of doing it, right? And that's not the case, right? Because it's a same unit. I mean, if I had to say right now, we're playing better on the offensive line than we played at any time last year. I mean, I like our starting 5, and we got a couple backups that are really good and some young guys that are come on. So I like the play there. I think our tight ends are playing better. Our fullbacks are playing better. So it's, so it's just, and we know that Gavin's a really good quarterback. So it's just a matter of us getting ourselves in the right things, and it's not just finishing, it's just starting, finishing, just being a whole lot better offensive football team right now. And so again, as a coach, you say, okay, let's look at what we can do and what we can do the best and what fits our, what we've hung our hat on in the past to have the success that we had offensively last year. So that's really what we need to focus on and get better at, and the overall execution of things.
You said you went away from the run maybe earlier than you should have last week. Will that potentially be more of an emphasis this week in terms of getting around?
Yeah, it should and could be for sure. It's just how we match up, in the run game against Boise will be the question. If that's how the game plays itself out, it'll be attacking their strength, but obviously, again, we can't worry too much about what their strengths and weaknesses are right now. We need to work our strengths, right? Because I feel like they got a really good football team and they got a lot of good football players, and we got a lot of good football players, right? And we might not be playing to that level, but we have a lot of good football players. So we don't have to take a back seat to anybody talent-wise when we take the field. And so what we need to do is do what we do and do it the best we can do it, So that's again the emphasis for us right now as an offensive football team. So I'm very frustrated with the way we've been performing and with our lack of production, but I know we got the talent to do better. So that's the encouraging part.
A big theme kind of the last couple of weeks has been execution. I've heard players talk about it, I've heard you talk about it. How do you actually make sure that happens come Friday night?
I think in practice, we just try to narrow down our package to the things that our group can do the best and just get repetitive reps on those, and the things that Gavin feels most comfortable doing. I mean, that's the key, right? The quarterback is really important to your offense, and he's such a really talented, good quarterback. We got to do the things over and over again that really fit what he's best at doing, and so that's what's going to be really a key component for us right now. And then we'll just get a lot of reps on it, and the execution should improve because of the repetitions that we're getting at those certain things.
In terms of, I think it's easy for us who are watching the game, fans, media, whoever it is, to see an incompletion or a run go for 2 yards and say, what was the play call there? In terms of your philosophy and how you kind of script a game or call plays as the game's going along, what is like the process and then how you make those decisions like in the game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're going to do based on what people are doing and what we're seeing against the looks that we're getting, and obviously if you call a good game, your team wins, right? And if you don't call a good enough game, your team loses, right? And so as an offensive play caller, I think it's really important that you keep that in mind, that you're playing to win the game, right? And so obviously we haven't done that this year as many times as we've lost, right? So your evaluation as a play caller is 1 and 3 right now as an offensive play caller. I mean, that's the evaluation of where we are right now, and so that's got to get better so we win more football games for sure. It's just a simple fact.
In past years, sometimes when UTEP, when things have started going south and losses start piling up,
Right.
It's been hard to turn around.
Yeah.
How does that change this year, just mentality-wise?
Well, I think, again, I would be pushing the panic button, Brett, if I thought we didn't have the players to do it, right? And that's what we're not doing right now. What we're doing is taking a good self-examination of how we get our players to play to the level that they've already proven they can play at, right? And that's the key thing for us right now. Because you say, okay, well, you lost JG and you lost Jacob, and they're great players, and you miss them, and they provide a lot of good things for you. But it's not like Ray and Tyron haven't been playing really good too, and so then the rest of the team's back, right, except for some O-line pieces, but some of the guys have stepped up and played at a really high level there. So to me, that's the big answer, is let's do what we do. Let's do what we do best, and let's do the things that we're really good at, and that's what's going to be important for us down the stretch. If we're in a situation where we're saying, okay, we just don't have the talent to get it done, right, then I would say, okay, it could be a rocky road for us. But right now we need to stay strong, handle the adversity, and go attack each and every game and each and every situation that we have.
How is the mindset amongst the group right now? You say you're not pushing the panic button, but
Yeah.
how do you feel everyone else is handling
Oh, I think I think the defense is excited about how they've been playing. I think they know they can play better. They can play a lot better, and obviously they're 1-3 just like everybody is, and they feel that. But they know that the pieces are there as we try to put some of our newer players into the equation, and they start to get better at what they're doing. So that that's the thought there. Offensively, they had their own meeting. The players had a player-only meeting today, which I thought was great, and there was a lot of good leadership, and that's going to be really critical in the meeting. And, they know they can do better, right? They know that they can perform better and perform at a higher level. So they're taking the challenge on head on, and there's a lot of self-leadership coming from the group, which was really, I thought, a big step for them today.
When you just reflect back on the program, I mean, last year's winning season did something that hasn't been done here in 7 years. How important is it to have success this year for this group?
Well, it's really important. It's important to get back-to-back winning seasons, back-to-back successful seasons, whatever those may be decided. I think it's critical. I think it helps in your recruiting. I think it's important for all aspects of your program, and so that's why I think it's important for us to handle this slow start and then come back and get ourselves back into a groove and start playing good football.
I guess you brought up the short week a little bit earlier, just only having the one less day of prepare.
Right.
Does that change things kind of operationally?
Well, operationally, I think we couldn't come back too fast, and coming off a game, you can't really change your Sunday, Monday type of schedule for various reasons. Obviously, you have to give them a day off sometime during the week, and so you don't want to give them a day off next Saturday after the game, because then you're losing an extra preparation day that you get for the following ball game. And so Sunday, Monday stayed pretty close to form. Tuesday will be a little bit longer of a Tuesday prep, more of a longer practice than what we would have on tomorrow's practice to try to compensate for being a day short.
Some of the tape you have on Boise is them playing New Mexico. Is that helpful to see them play like you play?
Yeah, it was helpful. I watched that game that Friday night on TV, which was good to be able to watch that game. And then it's good because now we've played New Mexico, and so we can compare more after playing New Mexico and New Mexico's positional talent that they have, and look how Boise matched up against their positional talent. So I think that's, always helpful. And then playing them last year, and they got a lot of the guys coming back from last year's team, so there's some familiarity with their players for those two reasons, for sure.
Is Boise kind of a model for what you guys would like to be someday?
Well, Boise's done an unbelievable job of building talent. They got great talent. They got great tradition. They are the premier group of 5 football team in college football. Right now. I think they've set the bar and the standard of how to be really good for a long, long period of time, and they continue to recruit really good talent because of the success. I think the success has perpetuated itself, and they've really built a really powerful program there. And they do it with good quality kids that play hard. It's really a good program.
Anything else?
Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Yep, thank you.